Oh, welcome to the Comic Corner at night. My name is Damon. I'm your host. What we do here is comic book news reviews and interviews. I didn't know if I wanted to do the SpongeBob at night or
I was
the.
just gonna say you totally missed that opportunity. At
Well, I kind of did. I
night,
was like at night or
you
the
got to emphasize it more.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated After Hours. Uh, so yes, we are later today. Thank you all for who join us live and are expecting the 10 a.m. show. You get an 8 p.m. show this time. Yes, Jam, y'all boys up late. Well, not so. Well, I don't know what time you go to
It
bed.
is
'Cause You wake
perfect
up
time for
so
me.
you wake up so early, so I don't know what time you
Yeah,
actually go to bed. It's 8 p.m.
uh,
Eastern. For those
try to
listening.
hit that. Try to hit that 9, 10 o'clock. So 5 o'clock,
Okay.
perfect time just before dinner.
All right. Sweet. TJ, good evening.
Good evening. It's like I said, perfect time for me. I like the early mornings, but I got to get all my reading in and I could take longer than like 15, 20 minutes before we start our show as I usually do every week. So
Mhm.
it was nice to have a little bit more leisure time, not have to rush.
Yes, always a good thing. Here is our rundown for the day. We have a lot of comics to talk about, a lot of great comics to talk about. Yesterday was a day where I'm reading my books and I'm like, ugh, comics, man. What a thing. What a beautiful thing comics are. Let's get through the rundown. Did a major character die in Ultimate Spider-Man with 4 issues remaining? Maybe. We'll discuss. Lean into the magics of Absolute Wonder Woman, which is just chef's kiss. So good. I love this book so much. We will get into it. And I read Superman. I'm all caught up with Superman. But in general, TJ, I'm going to ask the question: is DC just straight up winning at everything, at absolute, at mainline? I'm going to ask you all this, and you will give me what you think. But first, let's get into our books of the week. Let's get into our big book of the week because it is Ultimate Spider Man. There are 4 issues left, including this one. This is Ultimate Spider-Man number 21, written from Jonathan Hickman, artist David Messina, colorist Eric Arciniega and Matt Wilson, and letter Corey Pettit. After, I don't want to say like the quote-unquote worst issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, previously in number 20, it was definitely an issue that was like simmering, the tensions are, very taunts. You can cut it with a knife type of thing. We have another kind of non-Spider-Man focused issue with 4 to go, which is a little surprising. This follows who? Mr. Negative. And who? Quentin Beck, Mysterio, who's one of the Mysterios. He's kind of like the oldest Mysterio in the pantheon of Mysterios. And Negative gets to him. And essentially, what does he do? He gets into his head. He infiltrates their secret meeting. He tells him everything, as in Quentin tells Mr. Negative everything. And then Quentin becomes the bomb. But who is in this meeting when the bomb goes off? One of the other Mysterios, the other one that we all care about, Gwen Stacy. The bomb goes off, and what happens? Well, we don't know because that's where the issue ends. So, TJ, let me ask you this. What did you think about this issue? Just solely, just as this issue. What do you think about this issue where it is in this run? Because this is issue 21 of 24. So, first, what do you think about this issue individually?
Meh.
Okay.
It was meh for me. I mean, like it wasn't bad by any means. I mean, Hickman's a great writer. The backstory of Mr. Negative was very interesting. Like I thought, well done. I'll also say Mr. Negative is not a character I am very well versed with. The PS5 game is probably my greatest knowledge of Mr. Negative.
Mm.
But it's not Mr. Negative himself for me. I feel like kind of similar to last issue, just kind of like, why did we need this? Like, it was
Okay.
cool, it was exciting, but I mean, we haven't uh, dove deep into really any of the Sinister Six members. So I just found it kind of weird that we just randomly chose to show Mr. Negative's entire backstory as opposed to any. Not saying he shouldn't be shown as opposed to other character, but again, we haven't seen that with any of the other villains. So just kind of felt like a weird choice for me, like you said, with only 4 issues left to kind of take such a side road. And I also, everyone, reads things differently. Opinions are subjective, obviously. But for me personally, I don't really care about Gwen Stacy, to be honest. I mean,
Where's AF when you need them?
not like Gwen Stacy as a character. I'm saying in the context of this story, like the Mysterio reveal was really cool, but for me, I haven't really. There's nothing been in this book that has really made me like a fan of her character. And again, I don't mean that as I'm not a fan of her either. But yeah, it just didn't really impact me at all. Like it's shocking that the bomb went off, but the implications of it, I could go either way. If she's dead, like that's again shocking, but if she ends up living, it's whatever for me. Like I said, it was a good issue, well written issue, but a meh for me. Just kind of I'm ready to get back to Peter.
Would you feel different if we didn't have the 24 end factor here?
Yes, 100%, 100%. Because I am totally in on riding the wave. Slower issues don't typically bother me. I'm a big fan of building the story, building the suspense, tension. But with 4 issues left, man, it's like I don't know. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe I'm just wanting too much. But yeah, like I said, a meh issue for me.
I think I'll agree with you in the terms of the timing of this issue for what this issue is. I think the issue individually in a vacuum, if I did not know this series was ending at 24, I'd be like, hey, man, that was a cool issue. Some
Agreed.
stakes just happened. We got some backstory on a cool villain. And it was a really neat twist to what they did with like him and his sister type of thing. And I think that was pretty well done for another Ultimate Spider-Man story that really didn't have Spider-Man in it. I thought individually it was solid. And I do care actually a little bit about this Ultimate Gwen Stacy just because I find her interesting with how cold she is. That last issue ended with MJ pointing at her saying, someone's going to get hurt for what you're doing and you're okay with it. And for the end of this issue to potentially, I mean, we should have said spoilers, but potentially herself getting hurt or killed, right, was kind of the timing of those two makes sense. Now, how we're going to pick up with the last 3 issues, we will see. Personally, I trust Hickman when it comes to that, and I have really been enjoying this run. If she is not dead, I don't want to say this was a waste, but I would have tried personally to maybe find a way to combine those 2 issues with the set number that we have left. But I am not a comic book writer. I am not Jonathan Hickman. I am not a comic book editor. I sit here in front of a camera and yap about him after reading him on a Wednesday.
I just play one on YouTube.
So we have 3 more months. I'm fascinated to see how this concludes. I do not see this being, when this concludes, issue 24, when it ends, I do not see that being the end of Ultimate Spider-Man. I do see that being the end of Hickman's story of Ultimate Spider-Man. I really enjoyed it. I'd give this issue a 4 out of 5 personally. TJ, what would you give it?
3 out of 5 for me. And I also want to preface just really quickly too with the Gwen Stacy thing. Similar to Mr. Negative, I also don't really have any relationship with main 616 Gwen Stacy either. Not I know the main beats, but not a character I'm very knowledgeable about. So again, I don't want that to come off as like I'm hating on Gwen Stacy. It's just like I said, character I'm not very familiar with, but I agree with you. Her character's interesting here. I just don't have that, like I said, connection with the character that I think a lot of Spider-Man fans do have.
Jam is giving it a 3.5 out of 5. He's splitting the difference. I respect that. Are we going to say? I'm sure AF and I can give you some good Gwen Stacy books to jump into if you ever have the time in your very, very busy life to read even more funnies in comic books.
You know I love funnies. I love goofs and gaffs.
We have a funny coming up later. It is not this issue. This is an issue of Ultimate Hawkeye. This is a single one shot Ultimate Hawkeye #1. Dennis Camp did the prologue with one for Gary, but it's B. Earl and Taboo and Michael Stamaria. B. Earl and Taboo writing, and Michael Stamaria, the artist, who did the main story alongside Federico Blee, Alex Sinclair, and letter Joe Sabino. I'm not like shocked with what this story gave us. I'm really happy we got a single one shot with this Hawkeye, and they seem to be doing their own thing in the Ultimates constantly. Captain America and Tony both often say, yeah, Hawkeye, they're doing their own thing. They're out causing some anarchy. It's what they do. It's what this Charlie does. And this is cool just to kind of follow a story of that. And it picks off where a few issues ago, if you remember, if anyone remembers from the Ultimates, where we brought in the Maximoff twins and we were introduced to King Midas's like daughter, I believe, and her role in like the American society with all these evil corporations like Roxxon. Like that is what she helped manage. And Charlie here is going in to quite literally take them all out one by one, whether you're a huge evil corporation or an arms dealer like Ulysses Qua, who did not last very long in this issue, and that was fine. I thought that ripped. I love this version of Hawkeye. They are not the most skilled archer in the world. That is not this Hawkeye. They just have an incredible technology with them, with essentially 3D printed arrowheads that they can print whenever they want, whatever they want, with the help of the bow. You know, punch in some magic codes and bing, bang, boom, you got a confetti arrow, hopefully. And TJ got
R.I.P.
that.
Kate Bishop, dude.
Oh,
R.I.P. Kate
spoilers.
Bishop. I mean, come on.
Oh,
If you're watching
spoilers.
this show, I'm assuming you've probably watched
Ah,
Zombies already.
spoilers.
But a shameless plug, you can go check Agents of Fandom talking all about Marvel Zombies up on the channel. I think TJ even has a interview with Brad. What's his name? Brad Winderbaum.
Brad Winderbaum. Yep.
Yeah,
Brian
so
Andrews, the
go check that out, everybody.
lead of Marvel TV and the director. If you want to hear all about Marvel Zombies, you can go check it out here on the podcast and the YouTube channel. Anywho's, back to this. So one of the things that gets introduced in this book is Ultimate Clint Barton, who is Ultimate Ronin. Clint don't last very long in this either, because Charlie, they lose to Clint Barton and a very arena style fight that was set up for them. And Charlie loses. Charlie then puts off like a flash arrow essentially to blind Clint Barton. And then daughter of King Midas comes over here and turns Clint into gold. And Charlie walks away. So it was like, is this issue necessary for the grander Ultimates universe? Absolutely not. But if you really think that Charlie Ramsey, who is this Hawkeye, and if you really think they're really cool, like I do, and Hawkeye is like Hawkeye, Kate and Clint, and now Charlie, are my favorite superheroes. I just thought it was really cool that we got a single one shot of Hawkeye. TJ, what do you think about this issue? I also think it's really cool to have Taboo and B-Earl writing it for because Charlie is native, indigenous in this. So I think it was a really cool touch.
Yeah, I loved it, dude. I love this. Charlie's a character that I feel like they haven't really gotten the spotlight as opposed to a lot of the other Ultimates characters. I mean, we obviously got their introductory issue. I think that was issue 3 or 5. But besides that, like you said, it's kind of more so like Cap and Tony are like, oh yeah, Charlie's off doing this. We got a quick mention of them assassinating, I think it was like an oil salesman or I don't know, whatever in the last issue. So it was cool to kind of tie that in here and like see what they were talking about last issue. But yeah, I thought this is at least for me, a very needed issue because I, like you, am a big fan of this character and a big fan of this version of Hawkeye. And again, and this isn't a diss to the Ultimates. There's just so much going on. I feel like Charlie just hasn't had that opportunity to get another moment. So I really love that Denise and the team decided to give us this one issue just to let them shine a little bit. And it was just fun, man. It was exciting. This is probably because I'm currently rereading Court of Owls just for, the shits and the gigs, but very much reminded me of like a Court of Owls style thing with them like making their way through the Roxxon maze. And yeah, it was awesome. I thought the Ronin reveal was really cool. I was under the impression that we were going to get more issues of this, so I thought maybe Clint would like become not gold anymore or something. But hey, either way, it was fun. It was cool. I never would have expected Clint Barton to come into this story, given how we saw like he gave up the thing. It's just like, oh yeah, he's done. Like I don't care about him anymore. So just to bring him back and kind of give a little closure to that little loop, I thought was cool. It was fun. And yeah, I mean, at this point, if you put Denise Camp's name on a book, I'll probably just immediately love it. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for me.
Wow.
Loved it. Fun time. I'm just a huge fan of this Ultimate team. So I personally would love some single issues of everyone. Give me a John Hammond Human Torch. Give me a She-Hulk. Just give me some little one shots of each one. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. And if we didn't have Endgame around the corner, if we still attempt to try to continue this Ultimate Universe after that, hopefully we do, because that'll be part of our discussion a little later on. I think that's a great idea. I'm a little harsher with Hawkeye, just because of my grading system with it. I'm giving it like a 3.5, maybe a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy this version of Hawkeye. I think this is a great self-contained story. You get to see what this version of Hawkeye with Charlie, like what they represent. And I thought it was cool. There just wasn't, because you're trying to get through like an entire story essentially in one issue. There's not a whole lot of meat on the bones. So that's where I kind of like ding it down a bit. But I thought the art here from Michael Maria for their big section was great. So very good. Really enjoyed it. I'm glad this issue exists. Let's move over to DC. Is DC killing it? Are they winning it all? I don't know. We'll talk about that in a bit. Absolute Wonder Woman number 12. This is written by Kelly Thompson, artist Hayden Sherman, colors Jordy Belair, letter Rebecca Carey, and editor Chris Conroy. For those who do not know or what is going on with this issue, this is the final issue of this arc, where Diana, Wonder Woman, went into essentially a maze she heard about a lost Amazon still out there and led her into this maze essentially. And in this maze is Cleo, who's part of like the Atlantis stuff. For those who don't know, part of like the Aquaman lore and Aquaman world. And she's kind of like running this maze as like a dictator type queen. It seems like she's trapped in there too, though. And meets a whole bunch of like classic like things you would find in a maze, like a minotaur named Ferdinand. And then of course she does find her sister Io. This issue essentially just kind of like concludes that they escape. She uses some crazy magic to get out of it, and that's where I love where this Wonder Woman is. This, I don't want to say definitive Wonder Woman because it is very different, but this take is just so flipping cool, and I think TJ can agree with me on that, where it's such a simple twist where it's like, okay, because this Wonder Woman didn't grow up in paradise and she grew up in hell under Cersei, she's gonna be a witch. And Wonder Woman and Witch just works so stupidly well. And she just cares so much. She is so worried about getting every single individual out of this before herself. And I love, love, love that. A great conclusion. Gives Clea essentially a second chance as well, which I was like, hell yeah, that's a very Wonder Woman thing to do. And tease us off where we go into the future. Before I get into that, though, because the last page reveal put a big smile on my face. TJ, what'd you make about this issue before the last page reveal of where we're going?
Loved it. Excuse me. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. I'll say it because I've said before many times that I've read Wonder Woman, but not one of my top characters. this is the definitive Wonder Woman for me. I'm picking this as my as my definitive Wonder Woman because, like you said, I just think the concept of the magic and all that is just so freaking cool. I love how we are leaning fully into the Greek mythology side of things. It's just awesome. I love it. I want to also shout out Hayden Sherman's art. It's been amazing throughout the series, but this issue I really enjoyed, and I thought it was particularly clever how he put like the maze behind the panels. There's one specific page where it's like the maze all in blue, like super intricate, and just really makes for like a fun reading experience. You know what I mean? Like I think we talk a lot about, art in the sense of, how good it is and how like dynamic it is, but I also think there's something to be said about making the art just visually fun and like just making it entertaining as we go through. And yeah, it's just I love it. I love this Wonder Woman. I love this series. I love how she always beats the villain with some kind of compassion or something like that, which I know is a Wonder Woman thing in all versions, but yeah, so like I said, absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shadow Hayden Sherman, their art is just incredible. I love it so
they
much.
are killing it. What was that? I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on the name, but that one that we read a while ago with like the mountain is like a person or whatever. That was crazy too. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The one with Mattia de Luis?
Maybe. I think Zach Thompson wrote it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, no, I thought you were talking about the earlier arc in this run. That was like the 2-issue
No,
arc. I thought you were
yeah.
talking about that.
Completely other book.
Yeah, completely other book. So with EO2, EO has like tattoos all over her body, and Hayden put it to where the tattoo is like the maze, so EO can always like figure out where she is in this maze. But to go back to something Brandon said, dude, I think you'd love Wonder Woman.
You
Like,
gotta
because
check it
Wonder
out.
Woman is Greek mythology, and this iteration is so cool. And for people who don't know Wonder Woman, which is a very intimidating character to get into for some people, I think Kelly's done an incredible job to being like, you can treat this almost as a completely unique, separate, different character and push away everything that you would know from anything if you did or do not know anything when it comes to DC or Wonder Woman, because this Diana is so different, but still at her heart the same, to go off of what you were saying with like the definitive Wonder Woman. But that leads us to where the last page reveal we got here. Because there's this evil corporation trying to do evil things naturally, and this evil corporation is kind of holding up some DC villains and some DC heroes. And what we've been saying this entire time, TJ, with this Wonder Woman, she is a witch. She uses magic, apropos to our mainline Diana. Who's going to go head to head, toe to toe with this Diana for magic? Of course, it's going to be Zatanna, a very tied up Zatanna, who I want to know how she got into this position. But I am so looking forward to this next arc now. And I don't know if it's going to be like a 2-issue arc or like a full-fledged thing, because I do know we have seen solicits. Batman is coming. Absolute Batman is coming in this run. So I don't know if it's going to be like a 2-3 issue story. We don't know yet. I could look at solicits to figure it out, but I try not to read the solicits. I like looking at the covers and try to maybe figure out a story going on that way. Don't spoil myself. But I'm so excited. TJ, what was your reaction to seeing Zatanna as the next foe, if you will?
It's gonna
potential
be
friend.
it's gonna be so freaking cool. I cannot wait, especially after we just read that Zatanna 5-issue series, which I absolutely loved. So it's gonna be awesome. I hope it's like at least a 5-issue arc or something, because that's that's going to be awesome. I mean, they're for sure going to be friends at the end of it, but I can't wait to see that fight take place. And maybe someone watching this back in the comments that's more Wonder Woman savvy. I want to know who some of those other, maybe some of those other people in those cages, because there were some freaky looking people in there. And did you catch, what's her name? Well, tiger lady, leopard
Cheetah.
lady, cheetah. Yeah, I went through every cat besides cheetah. I caught cheetah in the very corner. So which isn't Minerva in the book too, like not as cheetah.
I
So
don't know.
someone
I don't
else
remember.
is
I don't
cheetah
recall. So
then.
maybe
Yeah.
I don't
So
recall. So
that's a little cool little slip there that I'm excited to hopefully see come to fruition. But yeah, I mean, so cool. Which also, anyone in the comments, maybe Damon, after we get off here, if you have any, if anyone could point me to more like, more Greek mythology centered Wonder Woman stories,
yeah,
hit
stereo.
me up in the comments to point me in the right direction, because like I said, this version of Wonder Woman I absolutely love, and I'm sure there
I'll give
are
you a
more
couple.
out there.
I'll give you a couple, just to like bounce off like the Greek mythology stuff earlier in the series. Like we deal with Diana going to hell and like seeing Hades and like Hades' wife, whose name I can't recall, but you go through like a bunch of like classic Greek mythology moments in here, and Diana being like face to face with it, specifically during Mattia de Luis arc in there. It was just so good. I love this book so much. This is still first funny. Thank you, Brandon. I knew Brandon's got us on the Greek mythology shouts, because I definitely don't. Mythology is not my forte, but
I
I
was a
do
big fan of
appreciate it.
God of War growing up. I love those games, so I got very into the Greek mythology.
So love it. Y'all go check this out. The first volume is out. The second volume, which should be this and the Mattia arc, should be out soon. Please, y'all, go get it. It is great. Top 3 absolute book, top 2, top 1 maybe for me, but top 3 in general, I think, personally. Whew. TJ, let's go to your namesake. This is Mortal Thor. Numero dos, number 2, written by Al Ewing, artist Pasquale Ferry, and colors Matt Hollingsworth. Thor, no longer immortal. We've took the M out of the mortal. And now what is left? Breakdown issue 1. Once again, I know you did it about a week or so ago, but if you can recap issue 1 for those who do not know, and tell us what happens in this issue.
Yes. So, sorry, I thought I was muted for a second. Thor, immortal no more. So Thor died at the end of Immortal Thor, heavy quotes on died. And he is reborn as Sigurd Jarlsson, which is an old alias that he used to go by way back in the day. Seemingly no powers. He's just a normal guy and he has amnesia. So he has no idea that he is Thor. He doesn't know anything except that he is like Norwegian, is basically all he knows. And he comes in contact with a new kind of, well, I don't know the word, I guess, radical group that go by Thor. They choose Thor as their like, who, I forget the exact name, but they're like the Thor crew or whatever. They're bad guys.
The Thor 4.
Yeah, Thor 4, the Thor Corpse, maybe. Thor Corpse,
Thor
hint,
Corpse.
hint. But yeah, so
Battle World, what?
What? Hey, everything leads to Endgame or Doomsday, I guess. Everything's leading to freaking Doomsday. But yeah, so there's this bad group of dudes who, see Thor as, and that's the other thing with Thor's rebirth, the like legend of Thor has been erased from reality. So like, Thor, son of Odin, like that, like just does not exist in the world anymore. And in this issue, our Sigurd, I guess, not Thor, goes toe to toe with these ruffians and just brutalizes them, dude. Just like, so you see on the cover, it's like a regular hammer, not Mjolnir, and he ties it to like a bungee cord so that way he can still like throw it around. It's smashing people's faces in, like, and that's the other thing. This new Mortal Thor, like this reboot, way more brutal than the Immortal Thor was. Like I said, he's like smashing people's face in, and super cool. I want to point out for anyone who read the issue, there is one classic homage to Jack Kirby. I talk about Jack Kirby a lot on this show, but we get a nice little him striking a pose from one of the classic Thor comics, which I really appreciated. But big twist at the end, who is leading this Thor like militia group? Donald Blake. Donald Blake, who is the one who was kind of behind Thor's death in Immortal Thor. There's this whole thing. He's the new god of lies. It's a whole rat. You guys can go check out some of our previous episodes. I go through all that. But yeah, dude, awesome issue. Just like kick ass, brutal action. Thor, just like I said, brutalizing these dudes, and we get the nice reveal at the end to really kind of kick us into high gear of where this new Mortal Thor is going to go. Yeah, loved it. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, or I'll be fair because I just like give everything 5 out of 5. I'll say 4 out of 5 just because I mean it wasn't like
Thor out of 5.
Yeah, Thor out of 5 because it wasn't the best thing I've ever read in my life, but yeah, I loved it. It was awesome.
Pascal Ferry, incredible artist. How is Pascal in this setting with a very brutal Thor?
Love it. Thank you for bringing that up before I skirt past it, but absolutely loving the art. I'm not gonna diss anybody, anything like that. I appreciate every artist, but a friend of the show, Martin Kokolo, I thought that I loved his art in the beginning arc of it. Once he got off, I maybe just like my bias, I was like, not saying it wasn't good, just I liked it better.
It is always tough losing a main artist to a book, especially when you've been on it for so long and you kind of have to adjust it. It's not a one-for-one. Like we've seen it with Ultimate Spider-Man when we have someone come in and they fit the vibe that looks almost one-for-one. Essentially what we did this week with Messina. It's tough when it completely changes the vibe. And there's one book that I love to death, and it was a very important issue of mine. And they had a completely different artist, and it almost like it completely ruined like that moment. As crazy as that sounds.
And that's exactly
Pascal
what I mean.
Doing a great job here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. The art previously, not saying it was not good, it just was hard to kind of transition. But Pascal has transitioned beautifully. I think that the art fits the vibe a lot closer to, like I said, what I really loved about Kokolo's art on Thor. So yeah, A+. Al Ewing, you got me back on the hook, and I'm loving it, loving the ride. This was a perfect week for me, honestly. Like the books that came out this week for me were amazing.
This genuinely was a very good week for comics, especially because for you, it includes one of your favorite books, Storm. This is Storm issue number 12. It's the last issue. This is written by Murama Ayadele, artist Mario Santoro, colors Fernando Cifuentes, letterer Travis Lanham, editors Lindsay Kowick, Annalise Bissa, and Tom Brevoort. We hit the magic number, TJ. We got the 12. At least it wasn't 10.
Yeah, but I am going to lift everybody's spirits after Damon just dampened everyone's. February, baby, we're back. Murewa is back. New Storm series. I mean, not new series, continuation. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but they have announced it.
But it has a 1 on there.
Yeah, so they're restarting the numbering like we talk about all the time. But like you said, it got past 5 issues. It got past 10. And like I said, we're still going strong. Friend of the show, Mario Audeli, he is just a genius, dude. Like literally a genius. The massive concepts that we are playing with here. I've said it before, like they are going to have to shift things in the entire Marvel landscape after this is done. I mean, we are dealing with the one above all. We're dealing with eternity, oblivion, death. it's insane. This
Dealing
issue,
with the cosmos.
yes, everything. And in this issue, we conclude the Thunder War. Hadad, the original Thunder God who was banished by the One Above All, him and Storm go at it. Satisfying as hell fight. Like, you know, in a lot of these books, sometimes we lead up to the fight, and I'm not saying disappointing, but you know, we get a little punchy fighty and blah blah blah. This we go like their Storm gets her face like just smashed in by Hadad. Like we get a really good close up of it, and they're just, you know, exchanging blows back and forth. We get gore, we get Null, we get, it's just, there's so much in this book. It is awesome. Great conclusion to the Thunder War. It makes me more excited than ever of where we're going to go after this, because things are not concluded. Like, basically, the One Above All tells Eternity he is on his own. I'm not helping you with this, which that's another thing. We get like almost half the book is a conversation between Eternity and the One Above All. So like basically the universe, like the physical embodiment of the universe speaking to God for like half the freaking issue. It's just, it's nuts, man. It's so good. I love it. I love it. If you're a Storm fan, I've said this before, you got to pick up this book. I mean, I think everyone should just pick up this book because it's just so awesome. Like, kind of similar with the Thor, just like kick ass, dude. You know what I mean? Awesome.
Give me a rating.
5 out of 5. 10 out of 10. I don't know, 10 out of 100. Whatever's better than 5 out of 5.
I was gonna say 10 out of 100 ain't good.
Yeah, I don't know. It was great. I loved it. I want to also mention too, really quickly, during the fight, we get a great like conquest moment from Invincible. If anyone watched the show or read the comics, where Invincible just is punching Conquest face. Storm basically does that to Hadad, and it is just like awesome. So yeah, can't wait for February. Cannot wait for this to continue. Again, shameless plug. Go check out our previous interviews with Mario Audelli. Again, he is just so clever and smart with the way that he is setting these things up and playing with Marvel history. Awesome.
Love to hear it. Just go back very quickly. I just realized since we're back on DC for this one, I didn't give a proper rating for Absolute Wonder Woman number 12. Give it like a 4.8 out of 5. 4.8.
Hi, I love it.
Being a little touch and go on that. Usually I try to stick to the half numbers and stuff, but I'll give it a 4.8. Just, I think that was my issue of the week. Not far behind it, though. Not far behind it, though, is this. This is Superman number 30. Superman and Booster Gold against a Legion? Gasp. This is Legion of Darkseid Part 3. This is written by Joshua Williamson, artist Dan Moore, colors Alejandro Sanchez, letter Ariana Mayer, editors Jillian Grant and Paul Kaminsky. What has been going on in this for people who don't know? This and Justice League Unlimited are the two most important books on DC's shelf when it comes to the all-in absolute tie-in stuff, and we're leading into DC KO. Very, very, very important stuff, because this is the first time anything from the Absolute Universe has already started to quite literally bleed into Earth Zero, the main continuity book. And AF has been talking about that with Justice League Unlimited, because this conclusion of this issue is the same conclusion as Justice League Unlimited. What's been going on over there ends at the exact same moment and same page as this book right here, which I thought was very, very, very cool. I will not be talking about Justice League Unlimited, though, because I did not read that in full. Just kind of like skimmed through it and noticed it. And was like, oh, these two books like quite literally tie up, and they bring it up in this issue. So what's been going on? If there are those who do not know what the Legion of Tomorrow is with Superman, it's essentially like the 31st century, way off into the future. We're dealing with time travel shenanigans. I know I hate it, but it's Superman and it's sci-fi, and I can kind of turn my brain off for this one. Way off into the future, there are all these very young heroes, and the entire world essentially looks up to Superman. Darkseid's Legion, though, is in Darkseid's universe, which is the absolute universe. And these kids did not have a Superman to look up to. They had a Darkseid to look up to. So it's the same characters. They're all just stupidly evil. You then mash that up with the character of Superboy Prime. For those who do not know who Superboy Prime is, think Gwenpool, but DC, and make him Superman. But with the side twist of having a little bit of not perfection with him because he's not Superman. He's just a very big DC fanboy. Big fight happens way off into the future where Booster Gold, who has been missing since the DC All In comic out of TJ, if you remember that, Booster went into the little like portal thingy that Darkseid disappeared off to and has been essentially held captive. And they're trying to use his blood to go back in time to infiltrate this universe. Superboy Prime fakes being evil, got him good because he came around, gave the evil Dark Legion of Darkseid the 1-2, him and Superman team up. Superman and Booster Gold escape. And now they are back in current time where the Justice League, who have been dealing with their own thing with Time Trapper, all meet. And it's kind of like one of those, they're coming type of moments. Right? And this is leading into what DC KO will be. It's all leading to that. So, my thing that I said here is DC is killing it, killing the game, because it is not just in the absolutes that we've been talking about with Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman and Martian Manhunter. It is also in their all-in line, their main continuity stuff. At least in the books that I have been reading. I want to preface that in the books that I have been reading. I've been loving G. Willow Wilson's Poison Ivy. I am a huge Nightwing fan. I love Tom Taylor's Nightwing. I love Dan Waters' Nightwing just as much. It's like almost a classic Nightwing, but in the world of Tom Taylor's setup. So it's like very, very cool. And trying to think of like some other DC books that are not absolute, but then you get into like the absolute books, right? So like the books that I've been reading, and of course Superman and Supergirl, and a lot of stuff, a lot of the Super Family. I've been loving it, and I think DC, for the books that I have been reading, have been killing it, dude. They've been killing it. I've been reading more DC books now than Marvel, hand over fist, especially when you start including just mainline stuff. Because there's very few mainline things from Marvel I've been reading. There's one we'll talk about coming up next, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not reading any mainline DC stuff, but my mainline Marvel stuff has cut down a lot, I will say. I mean, I'm still reading a lot of stuff just because of, the nature of what we do, but for as far as like what I'm really excited about, that list has gotten a lot smaller. So it's definitely, I don't know. I feel like we talked about this maybe like an episode or so ago, but it's definitely kind of I feel like we're seeing kind of a shift happening with the comic books right now with the
I think it happened.
universes.
I think it happened, and now we are seeing the fruits, right? We are bearing the fruits to it, because when you bring over amazing writers from one company and you kind of bring them over to the other, this is what you get.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for both, you know what I mean? And I think I'm a huge proponent of competition always breeds better comics. So, I love, as I say all the time, I'm a Marvel fanboy. I typically read more Marvel, but I love to see DC killing it because it's good for everybody. It's good for storytelling. It's good for, like I said, everybody. So I'm loving it, and I'm even considering, which someone in the comments, or Damon sometime, I need a list of like what I need to read in the all-in stuff that ties with the absolute. Like obviously
it's essentially JLU and Superman, a little bit of New Gods, but if you just want absolute, like just the all-in tie-in to absolute, those are the two. I can suggest some other books that are doing their own thing that are just good.
Yeah, I need to hop on more of the DC mainline. I think it's just which again, being involved in all this stuff, obviously I know more than your average person, but I totally relate to people who say like sometimes it's like intimidating to get into
Absolutely.
comics or whatever, especially on the DC side just cuz I mean, how many Batman titles are running right now? Like
Yes,
consecutively with each other. Sometimes that
and
can be a
yeah.
little like, oh, like which one do I read? Which is the main one? And not only that, dude. I was just doing some work for a DC thing the other day. The amount of universes is like makes my head spin. Like Earth Prime, Earth One, New 52, New Earth. It's like it's
Well,
maddening, man.
yeah,
It
that's
is
what I was gonna,
maddening.
like, mention. So it does get intimidating, obviously, when you start bringing up, because we have some folks here who are not diehard comic readers, and I love that because that's part of the show is to help bring people into it, and it does get intimidating with DC because you have, like, just to say pre-New 52, people who don't read comics will just be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Right?
Yeah,
So, like, it would and
pre-crisis,
and then
post-crisis, final
post
crisis.
rebirth, right? That
Yeah.
that's a huge
Oh
one,
my
post
god.
rebirth.
It never
So,
ends.
like, what the hell does that even mean? So I totally get it. And I think someday, maybe we can sit down with AF, who is like our DC guy. And I would
We
love to
should.
maybe even bring down with some other creators too, just be like, hey, let's help people get into DC. Let's talk about what it means when we say post rebirth or pre New 52
Dude.
or New 52, pre crisis, post all that stuff, right? And simplify it, which is another reason why the absolute universe is taking off as well as it is because it is a brand new thing. You need zero point zero knowledge of anything before going into it. Obviously, it's part of telling a grander story. And that's also why the ultimate universe, as well, is received as well as it is and was received as well as it was very early on. So I think comics are in a very unique spot. I think companies have recognized that like telling these alternate stories is really helping. And I'm not even talking about black label stuff because black label DC is so cool. And it's essentially just shorter versions of what the absolute universe is in a very broad way of describing it in a way. But it's why those work well. So DC, for the most part, I'll emphasize this. For the most part, I really enjoy what y'all are doing. Um, there you go. You're turning a Marvel guy and getting more DC books out of it. So there you go. But I do have one Marvel book. Oh yeah, by the way, real quick, 4.5 out of 5 on that. I'm trying to get more into the ratings and things and how we like it because Dan Mora's art in here. You can never go wrong with Dan Mora art ever. You can never go wrong with Dan Mora art. It's incredible. I'm gonna bring it back though. Let's bring it back to one last Marvel book before we get into our final book of the week. Because I have to. Whenever a Jeff book comes out, I'm sorry, people. It's my boy. It's my boy. It's my baby boy. This is its Jeff number 4. Jeff the Landshark, actually, number 4. Written by Kelly Thompson, artist Toki Tokoro, colors Jim Campbell, letter Joe Caramondo, editors Emerald Bensadoun and Jordan D. White. What's been going on in this book is Jeff has a shadow. He lost his shadow. It became like an animated being of a shadow, and he has just been chasing it around the Marvel universe. This was a book that Kelly has openly said this was kind of pitched to me, like, do a Jeff book, please. You don't have a lot of time to do it. And what Kelly has done, much like with the Absolute Wonder Woman, which is falling into an idea that just tells its own story where you make one twist to a character, a change to Wonder Woman, make her a witch, and it just completely changes. Like you're able to do so much with that. You say, hey, let's give Jeff a world tour. And it just writes itself, especially when you have a writer like Kelly who's done so much Marvel and is able to bring in some characters that she's done before. She has done Rogan Gambit. They were in the last issue. She has done Deadpool with Jeff, obviously. Jeff and Deadpool were in an issue. TJ, do you know another character that Kelly Thompson has written that would be in the Savage Land? Not so much you'd associate this character with the Savage Land, but it kind of low key makes sense that they're there because of who they are. You may not even know that Kelly even had a hand in writing this character.
I was gonna
Did
say,
not create, but wrote.
I was gonna say, I feel like my answer is just gonna make me feel silly. So just tell me.
Elsa Bloodstone.
Hey,
Elsa
that makes sense.
Bloodstone. There's a part
That's
of me.
not who I would have guessed. So
Hey, Monster Hunter, dinosaurs. You can
no,
kind
it
of
totally works,
smash
but
the two together.
just going over Kelly's catalog in the 5 seconds in my mind, that just was not the first name that popped into my head.
I gave you 50 minutes to think. I'm checking.
Yeah, I guess I had all day to think about it, technically.
But it's great. It's so cute, especially because this is an all ages book. And Elsa Bloodstone, famously not an all ages character, likes to curse a lot, very English, lots of F bombs. So lots of bleeps in a kid's book, which is just hilarious. Again, guys, it's super cute. You can't take this book too seriously. Jeff is trying to every issue is trying to like explain what's going on in his little way, and now they're off into the last issue, which they say they need some magic users to help bond his shadow self with himself, and magic users spelled Magik. Because Ileana's going to be making an appearance in next issue with Scarlet Witch. Kelly, that book was written for me, and I appreciate you.
I
Thank
say,
you.
dude, what? Are you gonna buy every single copy they have?
Only if Kate's in it too.
Dude, that would be. You would have to frame that on your wall.
I would literally be like, Kelly, this is right for me. Anywho's it's Jeff Lanchak, number 4. 10 out of 10, Peak Comics.
I think you would need a credit at that point if they had all those characters.
10 out of 10, Peak Comics. Guys, it's adorable. If it's not for you, it's not for you. That's fine. It is for me. I just need to smile sometimes. Life sucks. And this just puts a smile on my face.
We all just need a laugh and a smile, man.
Space Ghost, number 3.
Much better this week. Much better.
Thank you. I tried. Written by David Pepose, artist Jonathan Lau. Dude, this cover's incredible.
All the covers for this series have been absolutely amazing. There's another one. I'd have to look it up. But there's another one. I think it's also Alex Ross, but like the Space Ghost got like red eyes, looks freaking crazy. The covers are awesome, but besides the cover, inside the book, another great adventure for our Ghost crew. This is another reason why I said this was just like a perfect week for me. We get our villain of the week for Space Ghost, which is a Viking. Super, super cool. He's like this Viking dude that was frozen in ice for like 10,000 years and comes out to cause a little mayhem for Space Ghost and our wonderful Jan, Jason Blip. Fun issue, fun, exciting, dynamic action. It's just, I say this all the time, all of these old cartoon series being written by Pepose are just so much fun. It's just an adventure every single time. And with all 3 coming every week, it just, like you said with Jeff, it puts a smile on my face. It's a fun time. I look forward to it every single week, kind of just checking in on these characters, seeing what they're up to. What's our adventure this week? What villain are we going to face? It's just peak comics, man. Those like peak comics, peak Saturday morning cartoon fun brings you back to that kind of childhood adventure. Love it. Absolutely love it. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, or I'll be fair. I'll say 5 out of 5 personally because I love it, just because it's so fun.
You give the Jeff 5 out of 5.
Yeah, Jeff 5 out of 5. A critical rating, I'll say a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Just because we don't really progress on a main narrative. It's again kind of a villain of the week, fun adventure. But to me, that's what I want. That's what I need. And as always, Pepose delivers. We're going to have to get him back in on this to reconvene on all these books. And again, another shameless plug. We got a lot of stuff, man. We got a big catalog, but go check out our previous interviews with Pepose. We have one for Space Ghost, I almost said Captain Marvel, but Captain Planet and Speed Racer. So go check those out. But yeah, loving it. Thank you, David, for all these books. I keep them coming, man. Like, just I'll take these for as long as you can pump them out.
Francesco Mattina, by the way, the artist, the cover artist on this, giving
My
his
mistake.
best Alex Ross in
I would
all
say,
the
yeah,
best,
my
most
mistake. That looks
complimental
like
way.
an Alex Ross, but
In the most complimental way possible, because
yeah,
golly, the thing is gorgeous.
exactly. Mwah, love it.
Next week, everyone, we're on to next week's books. There was one that I added a little last minute because I didn't realize it was out next week, but it is Absolute Evil. Evil, number 1. From DC Comics. We're kind of diving into some of the villains of the Absolute Universe. Absolute Superman number 12, I believe, should conclude this arc of Absolute Superman, especially given where we left off with that last issue. I don't want to say this is a make or break issue, because I have a feeling we know that this Superman will never not, like, shouldn't actually hurt people. But where we left off, it's like, okay, where are we going? And I think that'll be really interesting to see how far this Superman can get pushed. Shadow Birds of Prey, this series is unfortunately coming to a close in a few months. So appreciate it while you can. Shout out Kelly Thompson on this because the run has been fantastic.
26 issues, man. That's impressive.
It's solid. Something's Killing the Children, number 44. Sick Tick is back next week. My all-time favorite non-superhero, non-big two book. Incredible. Love it. Ultimate Wolverine, Ultimate X-Men, and the Umbrella Academy. Plan B, number 3, from the Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance, and much, much more. The book we've been waiting many, many, many years for. The 3rd issue coming out. TJ, anything on your list that is not on this list?
Captain Planet, baby. Captain Planet and the Planeteers, number 6. I know we're both excited for that one. And then, yeah, same thing as you. It says Absolute Green Lantern on here, but that has not made the list, unfortunately. So
what I'm planning to do with Absolute Green Lantern,
I'm definitely going to get the trade just to.
I will read it in trade. I will. Yeah. That will definitely be a trader. All right, TJ, Captain Planet. His ears perk, man. Whenever he hears it, he is there.
Power is yours, Brandon. The power is yours.
Thank you all for tuning in, Jam, Brandon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat for this late show. Here on the Agents of Fandom Network. If you have been enjoying Gen V, if you have been enjoying Peacemaker, which comes out now, and I will be watching it now, we will be talking about it tomorrow, noon Eastern, here on the Agents of Fandom Network, here on Facebook, YouTube, and The Bad Place. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. As always, go check out your local comic shop. Go to comicshoplocator.com to find the nearest comic shop near you. And again, stay happy, stay safe, everyone. Keep going. You got this.